Facebook, and hopefully Instagram if it works. But I'm joined tonight by our Clay County campus pastor, Ben Farleigh. What's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Just trying something totally different tonight. And as we wait for people to hop on, I thought I'd ask you best quarantine advice that you have.
Oh man. Um, it takes a whole lot of patience, as I'm realizing. Yeah, so here's what I would say. During the quarantine, give yourself some time to quarantine yourself. So double quarantine. You know, I love my kids. I love hanging out with them.
One of them
One
walks
just
by right now.
photo bomb me. But I love my kids, love hanging out with my family, but there's just, I need just a little bit of time for myself. And so make sure you're taking that.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Kids are fun. They're even more crazy during quarantine. We've been having a lot of fun. We found my oldest daughter's iPad yesterday morning, and she had been filming her own YouTube videos. So obviously she's feeling the quarantine lifestyle too.
Yeah, and I saw a video on Facebook that you were shooting your kids with with the Nerf gun. So that's always fun.
Yeah,
You gotta release stress somehow.
Yeah, it's the best money I've spent on Amazon in months. So
There you go.
totally worth it.
Yeah, we got to the point where we decided that we were going to. Yeah, I set her down gently. The longer we've gone on this quarantine, the more rules or duties I think we've added to our kids, and so they have a mandated nap at 2 p.m. now. Like, have to. I forced them to stay in bed, and then about an hour ago they were cleaning toilets, supervised, but they were cleaning toilets. So the longer this thing goes, the more experience they're going to get.
Awesome. Well, as people have hopped on, one of the things that I wanted to do is we wanted to spend some time talking about last weekend's message. You know, we kicked off a series called How to Neighbor. And one of the things that was kind of unique about that series is that we chose that series back in like November of last year, and unaware that we would be in our current situation talking about neighboring in a shelter in place context and a culture that says stay home, stay inside. And we landed in Matthew chapter 22, and we talked about how Jesus gives the greatest command. He says, love the Lord your God with every part of you, and then love people. And I think one of the things that this thing has been teaching me is currently the fact that this whole shelter in place thing has me striving for connecting with people. What about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, I'm an extroverted person by nature, but I'm this weird hybrid of like I'm an introverted extrovert. So I love people, but I also like the way I recharge is just by being by myself. And what this has made me realize is I love being around people way more than I thought I did. You don't really know how much you love people until you can't be around them. And I'm just feeling super disconnected right now. Of course, we have this technology that helps a little bit, but there's still this feeling of, man, I just want to hang out with people. You know, I love the other 4 people in my house, but we want some connection with some other people too. And so I'm sure if you're watching this, man, you're feeling disconnected as well. And we just want you to know, like, we're feeling that too.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why in Matthew 22, Jesus starts by talking about how that we're to love Lord God, our God, right? Like we're to love him with everything. And I think it's because he knew at the root of everything, our greatest need was a connection with him, right? I think that's one of the things that is really important, especially in this current situation, because I think there's one of 2 options, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but you can either take advantage of this kind of shelter in place lifestyle by spending more time with God, making it intentional, or you can gain 20 pounds and watch Netflix all day long. It just seems like
those are the only 2 options. Those are the only 2 options we have.
Exactly. And I feel like if we're not careful, we can easily slip into that mental state of mind where we're just gonna binge watch Netflix, stay in our house, and get through it. Jeff talked about, week 1 when we had church online, he talked about not surviving, but thriving. And I think the way we thrive is from intentionality, being connected to God. So what are some of the ways and the things that you're doing to stay connected with God in this current situation?
Yeah. So first, let me say this: we are at a unique spot to where probably an unprecedented, at least in our lifetimes, an unprecedented spot that everybody's social calendar is clear. Now, I realize like this is affecting people career wise differently. There are some people that are still going to work every single day. There are some people that are working from home like us, and there's others that you don't even have your job anymore. And so I recognize like we're affected differently in that, but socially, we are all affected because we have more white space on our calendars than we ever have. And so, like you said, we either have the opportunity to look at this as an opportunity to grow in our relationship with Christ, or we're going to find all of these other distractions and, yeah, just survive. So for me, this is going to sound kind of hokey, but I have noticed a huge difference in my productivity during the day, in my motivation to get plugged into the Word, to get into prayer, and that starts by actually putting some clothes on. I love sitting in my shorts and t-shirt all day, and my house shoes have gotten more of a workout in the last 2 weeks than they've ever gotten. But when I actually get ready a little bit and put some actual clothes on, I find that, okay, that's the first step in being a little more productive. And comment below if you have noticed this as well. Don't get me wrong, like there's days where I don't want to do anything and I stay in the same clothes all day. But I start to try to get into the mindset of I'm still gonna strive for my relationship with God. I'm still gonna be productive today. So it starts by just doing the things I normally would if I was in my normal routine. Getting dressed, brushing my teeth, like showering, as weird as that stuff sounds. But then the other thing is I'm not gonna sleep all day and just waste this time that I have. I'm gonna still get up early, and I'm still going to get plugged into the Word. I'm still gonna read my Bible from my YouVersion app. Yeah, I'm gonna do those things and keep those the same or even more, because now I don't have anything that I have to do afterwards. So I can allot more time to do that. So those are just a couple practical things. Sound kind of hokey, but it's made a big difference in surviving versus thriving through this. What about you?
Well, like even this morning, I'm sitting there reading Matthew chapter 22, reading, verse 34 through 40. And as I'm reading it, there's just all of these things that just begin to pop out, like the fact that there are Pharisees and Sadducees that are connecting together. And it says that they're coming together. They got together, which means they're trying to do the same thing, which is
that didn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't happen very often. And then I noticed that there's a word that's shared between these two commandments, and it's the word love. And I really just thought about how if we're gonna really thrive in this current situation, we've got to be known as people that love. Living is loving, if that makes sense. Like we've got to continue to really love on people. And again, it comes down to that: how do we do it? How do we make that happen? Well, I think it is a reminder to me that you can't fool the people that are closest to you, right? Your people that are inside the four walls of your house all day long, like they know who you are. They know how you love or how you struggle or how you're frustrated or whatever. And so your greatest audience to love people is the people that are closest to you in your house. And
man, that's so true.
yeah, I thought about how I thought about the question, like, what am I known for? Because outside the walls of my house, I'm probably known for something different than I am inside the walls of my house. Like inside the walls of my house, I'm a dad, I'm a husband. I'm different there than I am outside, if that makes any sense, being known for something different. But I think we've got to be known in this current situation as people of love, people that are always there to help with a need or go get groceries for a neighbor, or go do whatever. We've got to be known as people of now more than I think ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think the longer this thing goes, which of course this afternoon just got announced that we're in it even further until April 30th. But I think the longer this goes, the more this thought or this fear of, am I doing enough starts to creep in? Am I doing enough things that make me be a good neighbor? Or, and so what I would say to that is, you don't have to do all of these things that are worthy of a Facebook post, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be this grand designed plan to love your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors' names. Be a friendly face when you're out walking in your neighborhood. Just be someone that doesn't give off this vibe of, I'm scared to death or I'm filled with anxiety. Be a calming presence in your neighborhood. There's different ways that we can love people that isn't always this grand thing, because I think we do get in this mindset because we hear love God, love people all the time. And so much so that you begin to lose its meaning a little bit. And I think I would caution people that loving people well, first of all, comes from an overflow of your love for God and your building of a relationship with Him. But two, it doesn't have to be this grand design. It's just simply loving people the way you want to be loved, and just being a loving presence in this uncertain time.
Yeah, I would also encourage people too, like this whole mental side of it. It's funny you mentioned the extension, through April 30th, because when I heard that, for me, it was just like, uh, like
No.
it's gonna be longer until we're able to gather on the weekends. It's gonna be longer for all of this kind of shelter in place ruling to continue. And I think what can happen is you can allow the current situation to attack you mentally, which then keeps you from loving God more and loving people around you more. And so, what I would tell you is to win the mental game one day at a time, and maybe not even a day at a time, but situation by situation. Because, man, it is a mental struggle, and we're right in the middle of it. And use this opportunity in this time to grow in your relationship with God and grow in the relationship with the people that are closest to you. Ben and I typically on the weekends, it's probably pretty crazy on Sunday for us. I don't know what it is like for you, Ben, but I'm
Yeah.
here by 7 o'clock at our Effingham campus, and I'm here till 1 o'clock. And that busyness on the weekend, I love it. I absolutely love it. But one of the things that I really loved last weekend was sharing communion with my kids and kind of teaching them about what it was all about and why we do this. They helped me pick out the communion, which was a lot of fun. We had animal
What
crackers.
did you guys take?
Yeah, animal crackers and water. Um,
Nice.
but it was about
We were
those.
cheese nips. We were
Use
cheese nips and Gatorade here. So
perfect. You seem like a Gatorade family.
yeah.
But it's taken advantage of those small moments and letting those be victories and letting those be the moments we point our kids and our life towards God, because I think it's a one moment at a time. At least that's what it seems to be for me.
Yeah, and it excites me. Of course, yeah, when I hear we're extended till April 30th, I'm bummed out, because man, I'm really ready to get back into at least some semblance of normalcy, somewhat of my routine.
I think most people.
But I think they are. And but at the same time, I also have the opportunity to set that foundation. My kids, when they get back into when we gather on Sunday mornings again, whenever that is, my kids are going to have a stronger foundation because we were intentional about explaining these things and having these conversations. And I'm just excited for the church as a whole, not just Christ Church, but the global church, because if we take the opportunity to build our relationship with Christ through this, man, you're going to see the church be way more effective after the coronavirus than it was prior to the coronavirus. And that is really exciting to me. But it's up to us to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We're going to be sharing some stuff this weekend on Church Online on Sunday about how you can help invite people to Easter in a digital way. And I think that's one of the really cool things. Like even in this place, we can still invite people to be a part of worshiping God together. There were thousands and thousands of people that were a part of it, which teaches me one thing: there are still people that need to know Christ. I mean, I'm here at our Effingham campus tonight. We're turning on the baptistry. We've got a baptism tomorrow afternoon. I know you guys have one coming up as well, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I would encourage you, if you would, to drop us a comment below and let us know what are you doing to grow in your relationship with God, and what are you doing in a simple way. It may seem simple, but tell us what you're doing to love the people that are closest to you. We'd love to hear from you, and appreciate your time this evening.